I was feeling so worried, and I was feeling like I have not done a single thing, and I'm turning 30 and I have nothing to show for it. Meanwhile, I have quite a lot to show for it. I'm just downplaying it because it doesn't look like what society says it should look like.
You get to choose how you feel about your life,
Yes.
and that is regardless of whatever the circumstances you are in. So if you are unmarried and single, you could look at it from the perspective of, oh my gosh, I'm so alone, this is the worst thing, or oh my goodness, I have so much freedom, oh my goodness, I can, I have so much space and time to do whatever I want, to explore myself, think about, be intentional about the person that I want to be with, if I even want to be in a relationship, because a lot of people don't even think about whether they want to be in relationships or not, and just dive into those things. So ultimately you have so much more control about how you feel and how you view your life and where you're at. And being negative about it doesn't necessarily change your circumstance.
Hi, community. Welcome back to A Cup Full. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to season 7. I am so happy to be back. And more than anything, I am happy to be joined by one of my most favorite people in the whole wide world. You all know her as Queen Bee herself.
Exactly.
Bokang, the girl.
The
The girl. My good friend Bokang is joining me for today's episode. We are going to be talking about everything in the 20s that happened in the 20s, if we can remember, because girl, 10 years is a long time. 10 years is a very, very long time. My girl, welcome.
Oh, was the intro done?
Yes. Welcome back. What do I mean welcome?
Welcome back. I
Welcome
feel like I'm
back.
here on this podcast, potentially even more than you at this point.
Oh, no, really?
We're giving a
Oh, no,
cup
yeah.
full of bee
Oh.
at this point.
Come on.
That is so cute,
It
actually.
literally is. It literally is. Thank you
That's
so
so
much
cute.
for joining me.
Thanks so much. I'm like, I don't know what we're going to talk about. So if I'm just yapping in this episode, I hope y'all enjoy, because all I know is the topic is we exploring the past decade of the 20s.
Yes, we are.
Since we are well on our way out.
Hey! How are you feeling about turning 30 really soon? It's not so far away. I'm so excited. I'm just really looking forward to you turning 30, celebrating you. But I'm like, if I could, I would be at your door every week with a clipboard. And I'm like, okay, where are we at?
The countdown to 30. 3 more weeks. 2 more weeks.
Literally.
Next week, I would literally move somewhere else and not tell you where.
No, fair, because that would be too much. But yeah, how are you doing emotionally, mentally, spiritually?
I don't know. Like, it's so weird. I'm getting this question a lot from people. Like, so how you feeling? You're turning 30. And it just feels normal. I don't feel any like fanfare or any fear and anxiety, thank goodness. And I don't particularly feel any like excitement or whatever. I just feel ready, and I'm just like, okay, I'm turning 30, But I've always known that 30s would be my decade. I was actually having a conversation with a friend saying that I was born to be 30.
Oh, yes.
I was not made to be in my 20s, okay? I was ready to leave the party like 2 hours after I left throughout my 20s. Now everyone's like, okay, we need to go home. And that's the 30s era. The 30s era is I'm ready to go home.
Yes.
And so I'm ready to turn 30.
Yes.
Thank you.
I love that. I share the same sentiments. Well, now I do. Wow.
Yeah,
a year ago?
Yeah.
A year ago.
You had an evolution.
Oh,
Let's talk
my
about 5 years ago. Let's talk about 9 years ago, Tereto, versus now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
No, I was feeling so nervous about turning 30 last year because I was worried that I hadn't reached certain goals, standards that society has set for 30-year-olds. It's so weird though. I don't know why. It's such a strange thing and I can never wrap my head around it. But I was feeling so worried and I was feeling like I have not done a single thing and I'm turning 30 and I have nothing to show for it. Meanwhile, I have quite a lot to show for it. I'm just downplaying it because it doesn't look like what society says it should look like. Last year I was so worried. I was like, I'm single, I'm childless, unmarried. Well, there's a specific order. I just didn't go in the order. I'm single, unmarried, childless, and the biological clock is ticking. So what am I going to do? And then I was thinking about my career. I'm not even halfway to where I want to be. Finances, I'm not even halfway. Haven't even bought my first property. I was just like, oh, what am I going to do? What? And then I had an epiphany of sorts where I just came to a place. I started telling myself that, you know what, I'm actually not going to do this. This is taking more away from me than it is adding anything. I'm missing out on the last 2 years and experiencing them fully of my 20s. And I'm concentrating on something that isn't here yet. And I'm concentrating on living up to a standard that is not me, that has got nothing to do with me. So then I said to myself, I'm actually not going to do this. Let me focus and concentrate on myself, and let's just give me a chance. So I'm feeling so much better about turning 30. My birthday is still so far away. Yours is in April. Mine is in December.
Girl, like the countdown. I'm like a month or like just under 2 months away from it. Yeah, but like just off of what you were saying, I think like no matter what age or stage in your life, because you know it's so easy for us throughout the 20s to just be worrying about we're not hitting certain milestones or where we want to be. But just the thought that occurred to me was that you get to choose how you feel about your life, you know, and that is regardless of whatever the circumstances you are in. So if you are unmarried and single, you could look at it from the perspective of, oh my gosh, I'm so alone, this is the worst thing. Or, oh my goodness, I have so much freedom. Oh my goodness, I can, you know, I have so much space and time to do whatever I want, to explore myself, think about, be intentional about the person that I want to be with, if I even want to be in a relationship, because a lot of people don't even think about whether they want to be in relationships or not and just dive into those things. So ultimately, you have so much more control about how you feel and how you view your life and where you're at. And being negative about it doesn't necessarily change your circumstance. So it's just a perspective shift and allowing yourself to kind of validate you rather than society and these milestones that we're supposed to be hitting, you know?
Louder, yes. I just will never stop appreciating your wisdom. You're just so wise. And I just want to say, I second that. I third that if I can. I fourth that. It's so true. And really, we need to, also something else that I've learned to stop doing is to compare myself to other people. There is no value in that. And again, it takes more away than it adds. So, yeah, one thing that we both would recommend highly is just staying in your own lane in terms of focusing on yourself and understanding that we have very different journeys and very different paths.
Yeah.
Whereas somebody who is 25 and works, what do they call them? 6-figure jobs is what do they, 5-figure, get paid 5 figures.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know?
that's their journey. You are on your own journey and embrace that. Don't spend time trying to catch up to people that are not you. They aren't even you.
They're not even you. They're not even looking at you. They're not in competition with you.
Yes.
You know? Like, focus on
exactly.
you. You're in competition with yourself.
Yeah. And that brings me to the second thing that I want us to get into. Big changes in our 20s. So, personal growth. I want to know from you, what are some of the biggest lessons you've learned throughout your 20s? Like, you know, the evolution of Bokang. What has that looked like?
I think the first thing that's come to mind, like I'll share one, then you can share one. But like the first thing that's come to mind is that, inspired off of your comparison and your notes about milestone, is that it's not always, or sometimes achieving the things doesn't actually, I don't know how to say this, but achieving the milestone or getting to where you want to go doesn't fill the void.
Sure, yeah.
You know?
Get
or
into it.
That isn't actually the thing. And a lot of my 20s has been defined by trying to arrive, you know, in all these aspects of life. And sometimes when I work so hard and I spend so much time trying to get to the specific thing, and when I get there, there's this feeling of like, oh, this is it. I'm not satisfied or a bit disappointed, or it doesn't last as long as I'd think, you know? And so I think a big thing for me has just been kind of reevaluating, not necessarily even making my goals and my dreams smaller, but just expanding it from the material things and realizing that to build and live a life that is joyful, that is like so me, that I'm happy to be, and that I'm happy to be living and I'm present in, goes far beyond like the money that I make, goes far beyond the status that I have, especially if reaching those things leaves me empty, you know? So
Yeah, relatable.
yeah.
Relatable.
And so now I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, what are the components that actually makes my life so much sweeter to be living? And for me, like, what do I like? Or what do I want to be doing or experiencing? Or how do I want to feel in my everyday life? And what do I need to do in order to achieve that? And it may not be working more, might be working less and, you know, maybe making more time with friends. Actually, sorry, let me just caveat quickly.
Yes.
I actually saw because I was on a little doom scroll this morning. It was so nice, guys. Listen, I'm the wellness girl and I tell you not to scroll, but once in a while, you just gotta, you know, a little indulge a little bit.
There we go.
But it was another podcast and they were talking about how we're so quick to be able to like move for a partner or for family, but never for friends, right? It was actually a conversation with Danielle Baird Jackson, who studies friendship, and she's a friendship coach and of women's female friendships. And if there's, and it just made me think, and it questioned like, why wouldn't you actually move to be closer to your friend? If this is a person that actually adds so much value and well-being to your life, then wouldn't you want to be in contact and in community with that person so much more?
Yes.
So again, I'm like, that's like, from a societal perspective, that's unusual. But if that's something that's important to me and that's what makes my life so much better, so much brighter, then I'm going to do that for myself. I'm going to, you know, design my life in a way that speaks and adds to me, despite what it may look like.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's, I think, one of the big aha moments that I've had. Yeah.
I've got quite a few, but the first...
Hit us with them. Hit us with the list.
I've got the list. The first one that I really have connected to the most, or I've come to understand the most, especially in my later 20s, is that it's so important to have a good relationship with yourself, because it's going to inform so many of the things in your life, the choices that you make, the people you befriend, the man you're going to be in a relationship with. It leads the way in a very big way, and I have had to understand that by going through some very difficult experiences, because there was a time where I didn't have a good relationship with myself, and it was informing the kind of people I was around, the things I was indulging in, you know what I mean, the behaviors that I was encouraging from myself and from other people. And so I realized that we go on a lot in society about loving other people, especially the romantic relationships, because I feel like the relationships with ourselves and in friendship are not spoken about enough, and I think they should be. But there's just always a relationship coach on my For You page.
So whatever platform you're on, you'll find a relationship coach getting their money there.
With this song, and then they go, if he wanted to, he would. If he doesn't want to, then just know that he doesn't want to. That's not your man. But I think we need to hear more of, how are you doing with yourself? Like, how do you see yourself? Do you respect yourself? Do you put yourself first? And I'm not saying in that weird selfish way, but are you prioritizing your mental well-being, your emotional well-being? Are you constantly checking in with yourself? Like, can I actually pour into other people in this moment, in this place that I'm at? So I have learned that one of the most important things that I need to continue to do is to have a good relationship with myself. That is literally going to shape a lot of the things in my life, whether I like it or not. So it's been a huge aha moment that I've had, a huge thing that I've discovered on my personal growth journey. Yeah. Do you have one? Another one?
What's the question again? I
we're
sort of make sure
focusing
that
on
I'm-
we're focusing on personal growth and just reflecting
Yeah.
on the things that we've picked up in our 20s.
allowing your life to settle into itself at the time and the pacing that it's going to take.
Yes, yes.
You know, I think there's a
Absolutely.
lot of trying to just force things to happen right now, this way. And if it doesn't, oh, it's like just the end of the world, or it'll never happen. Maybe it's not for me. There's just such a freedom in letting go and just allowing and accepting and leaning into your life as it is. And yeah, even on the note of loving yourself, it's a long process, you know, and not expecting that to happen overnight, or even just that journey of self-discovery. But just giving yourself the time to have the ups and the downs of that journey, and knowing that, okay, I am on the way, even if I am taking 2 steps back. So I think, yeah, just giving yourself grace. And the fact that you want to know and you can recognize that I'm making progress and I'm kind of veering off course, I think that's still a good thing, and it's just part of the process. So just kind of leaning into the process and not judging yourself so much, because I just feel like we can be so hard on ourselves.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if I'm doing very well in letting go of that going into my 30s, but I am aware of it.
That's a good thing.
And I do, but on that note, maybe a little bit contradictory, I do feel like there are seasons where you do need to hold yourself accountable, and you do need to be strict and kind of like, okay,
100%.
girl,
Yeah.
you need to,
Get
as we've been
together.
saying a lot,
Yes.
keeping the promises that you made to yourself.
Yes.
Listen to that episode, y'all. So
Please.
got an episode on that. Definitely listen to that one. Yeah, so there's seasons in your life. But yeah, I think that would definitely be another one.
Yeah, I can relate to that so much. Just embracing the journey, really. I actually had it on my list. I wrote down embracing the journey. That's literally all you need to do. You need to bring yourself to a place where you're embracing the journey. And I think there are things you can do to help you get there, or to help with the process. I don't think it helps to sit on social media and scroll on Instagram all day, or every other 10 minutes you are on your TikTok, because one thing that you are going to end up running into is a 25-year-old who knows how to make $1 million in a week, and you don't need that pressure. Don't get off of the socials.
Get off, okay?
Get off, and make sure that you are in a good place with yourself in terms of knowing what you want, or maybe, because I don't know, I'm also going to be contradicting myself here. I really didn't know what I wanted for a lot of my 20s. I'm just only starting to get my footing now. But just understanding that thing that we were talking about earlier on, that your journey is your journey. You cannot compare yourself. You're going to waste time, and you're going to break your heart a lot if you keep comparing yourself to other people. And like you said, that also ends up pushing you to rush to make it, to get it, to do it, when a lot of the times that shouldn't be happening. Tony Tone, do you know her? Please, if you have TikTok, if you have Instagram, go and check out Tony Tone. She also has a podcast now. She was talking about how peaking too early can be very dangerous, and that when you are not mature enough emotionally, mentally, spiritually, you are most likely going to end up going down a very slippery slope, or you are going to end up crashing and burning. So she says we must, instead of embracing this culture of getting to things at a young age, I did this at 22, I did this at 25, I did it at 28, rather focus on maturing, and maturing whatever it is that you want to get to, you know, your craft, your ability, the emotional maturity, all of those things. Focus on maturity. Let it be about the quality and not the quantity.
I love that.
We need to focus more on that than on this thing of go, get. And that's also something that I'm trying to embrace more of, just appreciating the process.
Yeah.
One of our favorite podcasters, businesswoman, Bumile Dwaba, she has been going at this for so many years at this point, and she has reached a point of maturation, and that's why she is succeeding so well. And she is the kind of person who always speaks about how she has worked throughout her 20s to reap the rewards in her 30s. So our younger sisters in your early 20s, let maturity be the driving force, not the quantity of things that you're going to accumulate. You know, so I think that's something that has really been another, wow, okay.
They just come out now.
Wow. Okay. And another one for me has definitely been that life is just unfair. Some people are rich, some people are not. Some people have access, some don't. That should not be the thing that makes you go, oh, I can't, or the door's not opening. Now, you already know, Bokang and I are both Christian, and we believe in God, and we are familiar. Well, if you are somebody that reads the Bible, you know, ask, seek, knock. You got to be persistent. That's it.
You really do.
That's it. Whether you believe in God or not, you need to be persistent about what you want, and you have to be resilient and perseverant. So you and I both know that we have been waiting on a lot of things for a long time. It's been years. Years. But even when we talk about what you are wanting to pursue and what you want, you are always just holding on. And I'm like, I'm going to hold on with you because I want what I want.
Like, I don't even know where we're going. I don't know if this makes sense, but I'm holding on, and let's go. We'll see when we get somewhere.
Exactly. But life is unfair, and you can't keep complaining about it and making excuses.
Yeah.
You have to decide. One of the most profound things you told me last year, we were on a call, and you said, even when you're not deciding, even then you are deciding.
Yeah.
So just pick something, please.
Rather you pick than let life pick for you.
Honestly, and when life picks for you, I don't think it's going to be so nice. Or it's going to feel like it's forced.
Yeah.
Like you're in a wrestling match. I don't know, Anna. Nobody wants that.
Honestly.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think that's really what I got for everybody. That's what I got. You want to add? You want to throw something in there?
Ah, girl, I think we spoke.
We did.
We did.
We mean, yes. Just moving into expectations versus reality. When you started at university versus when you left and pursuing the career you've been pursuing, what has the picture you had in your mind looked like versus the reality of it? And has it changed? Has it taken you to a place where you want to pivot, or are you still like, no, I want what I want?
Hey, I've been pursuing, guys.
Yeah.
It's been 84 years. I've been pursuing.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of pivoting that has had to come along the way. Because like you just said, life is not fair. Things happen for other people in ways that if you feel entitled, or if you do work hard and you just don't reap the same rewards, that's just life. That's what sometimes happens. And it does suck, but you get to choose decide, am I going to have a pity party about it, or am I going to do something? But just to more clearly answer your question, I studied drama. And although I always knew that I wanted to be in the film industry as a storyteller, initially it had always been through the form of acting, because that is what I say, that's my first love. And you know, throughout my varsity experience, I was able to really do that in some form every single day, performing well, like one of the top students. So to me, the expectation was like, baby, I'm just gonna get out here and shoot to the top. Let's conquer this industry.
Yeah.
Rude awakening happens, graduate, cricket, doing the auditions thing, it's not working. But a lot of the adversity and a lot of the closed doors, the no's, now in hindsight, I see how those were so necessary, because it brings me to where I am now. Had I not gotten the no's, that was my first pivot point, where I was like, okay, what am I going to do? I'm not getting these acting roles. Yes. I can give up on my dream, or I can think about how else can I make this dream a reality. So, and this is what I encourage a lot of artists to do. so that led me to start diversifying and looking at some of my other skills. So now I'm like, okay, let me focus on writing. Let me write some of the projects. Let me actually create the work instead of waiting for the work to come to me. And that had me get into writing. That had me start my YouTube channel because I was like, let me get more visible because who knows what opportunities this could give me. Through YouTube, I started producing, I started directing, editing.
Yes.
Now I go from just having this single box of wanting to be an actress, and now through that no, I end up becoming, because I said yes to the challenge of the no, I end up becoming a holistic filmmaker that now have the ability to create my own productions, to have my own network, and to expand that dream beyond what I first thought it could be. And now, at the latter part of my 20s, I'm in a space where I'm like, yes, acting is still a beautiful part of the dream, but now the dream is so much bigger than just that because I see, I have so much more capacity than what I thought, and then what I allowed myself to dream and what I allowed myself to view myself beyond just this one thing. And so the reality of where I am now, being a creative producer, a director, a writer, hey, an all-round film creative,
I need to go
wearing so many hats.
Yes.
And I also want to say, like, through like all those other skills that I learned, it's also sustained me and brought me to the city where I can really like double down more and get other opportunities that I would not be able to sustain myself had I not cultivated those other skills, had I not pivoted. And now it just goes beyond like wanting to act for myself, but now I get to, really transform an industry. And, the dream is now bringing our stories on a global platform.
Yeah.
Whereas just initially it was just bringing myself on a global platform. Which, hey man, listen, I would have taken that too. But now I can take so many more people with me, and like I don't know, the journey just got so much richer as a result of my expectations not panning out the way that I thought it would. So yeah, from the career stance point of view, that's kind of what expectations versus reality has looked like. In hindsight, I can see now how this journey has been so tricky and like messy and unlinear, but how that was always just working for me and in my favor.
I love that you embraced the journey quite literally. And
No, only now, sorry. I was fighting the whole way. I was complaining the whole time. Only now I can see what's going on. I'm like, okay, it's making sense a bit.
I love that you're saying, let's be so for real right now, because it's only now I've been struggling. No, and I can relate. I studied politics, and the big dream was to be at a national level, doing good for my country, working towards transforming my country as a post-democratic era, and just being a part of the young minds that would transform this place, this beautiful place, for the better. And that was my hope, and that was my dream. And I went on to do my honors, and I just had big dreams, and I had big hopes. At some point, I thought, okay, maybe I could become a diplomat. This is really going to be great. It's going to work out. And it didn't. And it didn't.
It very quickly didn't.
It very quickly didn't. But I will say I know where this started. So when I was in my third year of university, I applied in the second year, actually. My second year, I applied at the radio station. I went to the University of Pretoria. I applied in my second year to be part of the university radio station, and they did not accept me, and that really hurt my heart. And then someone said apply again, and I did. And then they accepted me then. And going into that space, I really didn't know what I was doing. I just knew I wanted to speak into a mic, because I be a talker, yapper, I can do it all. And then I just fell in love with the medium, the radio medium. And I was like, this is interesting. I want to see what's happening. I started as a newsreader, and then I became a producer. I was producing one of the shows. And then I ran the newsreaders unit for a little bit. And it was just so interesting. I was like, wait, I kind of like this. I think I want to do more. What? Okay, media, entertainment. And then as I was looking for work after graduating and things were not happening because we know the level of incompetence and the looting of this country, there was no way I was going to work in a political office because they just keep rehiring the same people or their family members or whatever. So I said to myself, okay, I need to do what I need to do. I worked as an admin clerk at some point. At another point, I worked at an events company. At another point, I worked as a customer service agent. It was just pity, a lot going on. I was like, what is actually happening? But I was just trying to embrace it as time. Was I having a good time? No, I didn't want to do any of that stuff. I wanted to either work in politics or in radio because now I knew. But just this, like you said, this up and down, in and out, the adversity, the difficult moments, the moments where you're not hearing back from places, it started to build inside of me this resilience, this perseverance. And I said to myself, I actually want so much more, and I know that I can get there. I just don't know how. I don't know what it is right now. And then at some point, I go into artist management. I think I've done a lot.
When we can talk about the different jobs and the different areas that we've dabbled in, that's what the 20s are for.
Honestly, and I am grateful that I did all of that because it built inside of me that perseverance, that resilience, and that desire to keep looking for what I want to do. And so I just kept going. And now I can do a lot of things. I can work, I be doing many things at the same time. I can, but also it's just, I've continued to work and walk towards the thing that I know is for me and the thing I'm meant to do because I haven't been afraid. There has been a wondering, of course, but then I've just been curious and I didn't know what to call it all this time. But now I just call myself a very curious person. That's why I have journeyed throughout the different lands and I'm glad I did. And I'm just going to continue to carry this curiosity into my 30s. I now know a lot more of what I want and where I'm trying to go with my career, which I'm very happy with and I'm very content about. But I would not change anything at all. And I'm so glad that I studied what I studied because, not to toot my own horn, but I think very deeply. I can think critically, which is something that I think is missing with a lot of people. And I'm grateful that I did both of the degrees that I did because they have helped me. They've shaped my mind in a very different way. And even when I'm working, you've seen me. I apply myself. Like I don't play. I apply myself.
Don't play with her. Don't play.
So I'm very happy that I went through that journey career-wise. It has brought me to this point.
Yeah, and like we are still going through the journey. 30 is not the arrival point either.
No.
I mean, it's just a stop along the way.
Absolutely.
The many stops we're going to go through. So
Absolutely.
it's like, I think if anything, we're just more comfortable with the fact that it's a constant evolution. It's a constant rediscovery.
Yeah.
And if by, I don't know, 6 months from now or a year and a half from now, we decide to pivot again, change.
Literally.
We're going to do that.
Absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
There is nothing wrong. 30 is not old. Okay, guys, please. Whoever's telling you that 30 is old, that's the beginning. That's the beginning, really.
We're just getting started.
20s were a rough draft. 30s are, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. We've embraced change in various areas of our lives. Tell me about embracing change in friendship. How has the idea, the concept of friendship evolved for you from your early 20s to now? And what have some friendship changes been or looked like for you personally?
This is an interesting question. I think I never would have thought that friendships would have been as important or vital or pivotal to my life as they are right now, as really just being, can you see the hole in my gown? The way I'm sitting, guys, with my arm up here and I have a hole by my armpit.
Oh gosh,
I think I showed it to you in our video call. And you see, guys, that is the beauty of friendship.
exactly.
Oh my gosh. love how Tati just around me.
Yo.
But it's these moments. I think I never really, or it never really sunk in that my friendships could really just be my life companions, you know? And it's okay to want the romantic relationship. And I know like so many of my friends and myself, you know, we're still holding out and hoping and praying for and staying on business when it comes to the standard of the man that we want in our lives. But yeah, it's just been really refreshing to journey through like just the ups and downs of this decade with these friends, new and old.
Yes.
So yeah, I just think like having friendships being one of the top kind of relationships in my life, I probably just didn't deep it as much. You know, I kind of took that for granted, and it's changed in so many ways. There's people that have fallen off, but I always say like they came to serve me in that season or whatever I needed to impart on them in their lives. I fulfilled my purpose. Grateful for them. Bless and release you.
Yes.
And the lessons that I have learned in that relationship, I take on to my next ones. You know how like people are like, they built somebody or they build a man and they don't even reap the rewards. Sorry if you're not reaping the rewards of this friendship, but my current friends will.
Yes,
So,
exactly. Life is unfair. Life is the way it is.
It is what it
is.
is.
It honestly is. I can relate so much in terms of I did not know that I would be telling women in their late 20s, mid 20s that good friendship is literally vital to your well-being. You need that. You better make sure that you are focusing on that. I see that, man. Love is beautiful. It's all amazing and great, but that cannot be your be-all and end-all. You need to be in community, especially with other women. I think it's beautiful when people can be friends with guys, men and women can be friends, and it can be solid like that. But there's just something about being in a healthy relationship with other women. It revitalizes you. You're just glowing. You're just happy. You're just wow. It's just I cannot even begin to describe it. That is what happens when other women that want good things for you, that are good people, great people, when you surround yourself with them, it literally becomes such a beautiful part of your life. So I'm very, very grateful for friendship, for sisterhood, and I'm grateful for all of the friends that I've had before. Again, they came and we served each other. I would like to hope, and even if I didn't, that was just not that was not a version of me that was able to do that. And yeah, I've learned to accept that I was a different person back then. I'm a different person now. I will not sit here and say I was the most amazing friend, I was great. No, I have grown so much, and I'm grateful that I experienced those friendships. And yeah, I'm happy that there's been so much growth and change, and now friendship is such an important thing to me, and I'm also very intentional about it. You know, you need to be very mindful of the people that you invite into your life. That's why I use the words good women who are good influencers. We need that.
Yeah.
We all definitely need that. So I highly recommend, please make sure that you're pouring into your friendships and intentionally surround yourself with women that are good for you, that will be good to you. You know what I mean? So, yeah, girls.
And what we always say that I think also like, this is something that we say a lot, but one thing that I never expected from friendships is for them to set the standards of love.
Ah, yes.
You know?
Oh, wow.
Of love and relationship.
Yes.
Like, what you mean? These girls are showing me that, no, I will not accept anything less than this type of behavior, or this is the kind of communication that I want in any kind of relationship.
Exactly.
This is how you exercise boundaries. This is how you have conflict in a healthy way. Crazy.
Yeah. Remember that day when you were irritated with me, and I could tell, I'm like, she's irritated. But what was so interesting and what I found to be so lovely about that interaction was you never made me feel bad. You didn't want to break me. And that's the one thing my mom has made me so aware of. She says you must be, like, listen to people when they are speaking to you, when they are angry at you, when they are frustrated with you. She says those are normal, healthy feelings that we must express to each other. But she says that there is a level to it, and you cannot speak to a person like they are the filth of the earth. You cannot speak to a person like you don't care about their feelings. Sure, I've made you uncomfortable. Sure, I've hurt you, but have humility. Where is that? Are you now going to make me feel like I don't mean anything, or I don't deserve forgiveness or love or care? So, yeah, when you say setting the standards, when I tell you, baby, it's real. Okay.
It's real.
It is so real. And speaking of setting the standard for love, I want us to get into that one.
Okay.
Because love for the girlies, it's been interesting, right? In terms of, we used to see love differently in our earlier 20s, in the mid 20s, but now completely different idea. What do you think has changed for you in terms of how you see romantic love now? And I'll ask you the second one after, but yeah.
I mean, you're like, what's romantic love?
Oh my God.
When last did I feel fluttering in my heart? Then again, crazy. I think the last time I felt a fluttering was when Tseretso literally called me last week. Or she was just like, no, I was just thinking about you. Or
Yes.
I don't even remember what you did, but I was like, this is romantic. Oh yeah, you sent me
texted you.
you sent me a voice note
Yes.
randomly just talking about like how our friendship has like
yes, that one. Yes.
has basically what it's meant to you
Yes.
and the effects of us just being in a relationship with one another.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is so romantic. I'm blushing.
Oh
What
my
the hell?
gosh.
Just asked for my hand in marriage already.
No, literally.
But yeah, I think like I'm now, because of like the types of friendships that I'm in, I'm able to like just experience romance
Yes.
in so many more ways.
Yes.
And I think I'm like more receptive to receiving it, whether there's a guy that I like or not involved in my life. You know, it's so much more limitless in terms of where I can experience romance with, even if it's just holding my friend's hand, which that one, I still need to get on that one. But I like the
2025
idea.
hashtag working on it.
Truly. I like the idea. Let's do baby steps with that one, you know. And honestly, that's just me as a non-physical touch person.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, just a lot of. I don't even remember the question, but in terms of romance, I think that's how friendship has really just expanded my idea of, oh my gosh, I can feel these things, or I can experience and have these moments. It's not just relegated to a romantic partner. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? I don't even know if you remember the question, because I know I forgot it.
I remember it. I was watching a K-drama. Guys, Bokang and I
I
love K-dramas.
It's an addiction, baby.
No, really.
It's a beautiful love affair.
Honestly, no one can tell us otherwise. And I was watching it, and this lady was saying, love for me is no longer the butterflies or butterflies in the stomach or just melting when a man says, I love you, I think you're pretty. Love is, I feel safe, I feel heard and seen, protected. I know that you would never do anything to hurt me. That's what love is, and that's what it is for me, right? Like romantic love is that for me now. I'm no longer looking for the butterflies. I used to think that the butterflies are the indication. I'm no longer looking for I love you for the purpose of saying it so that you can get in my pants. No, that's not what I'm interested in anymore. It's actions, it's your character. And again, it's the realization that romance goes far beyond an actual romantic relationship. Community, being in friendship with incredible women will show you what love is in the most beautiful ways. It doesn't have to be romance with a man. It can be with your friends, your girlfriends, because they get you like that, and they see you, they hear you, they just want you to feel good about yourself. And Brett Cooper was saying the other day that she was speaking to Michaela, Jordan Peterson's daughter, and she was saying that the advice that she has for girls that are looking to be married is you need to intentionally look for somebody who is who pushes you to be better than a more better version of who you are now, who says to you, okay, the podcast, let's go get equipment. Okay, the script, let's sit down and drink coffee and work on it. Someone who's involved, who doesn't baby you, but who supports you, and you know that they ride for you. We mustn't subject ourselves to anything that is less than that. We deserve that, and put yourself up for that. Again, standing on what? The business. Standing on business. You don't want to be in a situation where you are with a guy just for the purpose of it. Please don't do that, my sisters, my dear sisters.
Don't annoy me.
Please be serious. And now, where do you find yourself? Are you wanting to still date, or do you want to settle down? Where are you at? Because we are being told that 30 is the year where you must settle. Do you see yourself?
What do you mean by still date versus settling down? Don't you have to date to settle down?
No, I mean like just seeing this guy, seeing that guy.
I've never been a seeing person. I tried the seeing. I saw things I was never ready to see.
Same.
Advice for your 20s, guys: don't try to be something you're not.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Don't try to be something.
Thank you.
But you know what? I think I know that I'm not that person after I tried and it just crashed. So you can try, but please try within reason.
Yes.
Don't be disastrous in your trying.
Please be careful. Yeah, I definitely am not interested in any of those things. I'm also really trying hard not to put all this weight, this pressure on, okay, this man is your husband. This man is your husband.
Whoa.
No.
Whoa.
I really, honestly, I don't want to do that. And I understand that ultimately the one that comes first is God for me. So I mustn't, my whole life cannot revolve around becoming a wife.
And it also can't be the next man I date is going to be my husband.
Yes.
I understand the heart behind that, and I
Yes.
love the intentionality and the standard, because you're like, I'm going to be serious. I'm not taking any games and no jokes.
Exactly.
But what if he's not?
No, literally.
Then what happens?
This literally happened where I thought that, wow, God is answering my prayer. Do you remember this story?
I remember, and I could see it from the beginning. I was like, whoa, well, let's see where this goes. Maybe God will prove me wrong, but I don't think so.
Yeah. I thought that man ghosted me. I was like, you were like, oh, great, that he got rid of himself. He better get out of there. He got rid of himself, which was a great thing. Yeah, I just think you're right. There's a good heart behind it, but we need to be very realistic and not, everything cannot revolve around that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Everything cannot revolve around that. I'm curious, heartbreak, have you experienced it? Even if it wasn't like heartbreak after like a long relationship, but yeah, has that been something that has shaped your perspective on relationships, men?
Yeah, shame it has.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like that's probably why I can be a bit cynical when it comes to these things.
Yeah.
I just a bit like also look at things through almost a clinical lens as well. Because I'm just like, guys, the signs are there. And I think it's easy to, especially for me, when you go through a heartbreak, to, under the guise of saying you're protecting yourself, to just stay out the game completely and get complacent in that.
Yeah.
So that's just something I'm trying to work on in terms of just actively working on restoring my hope in that what I'm looking for is there, and it's safe to like try and give people a chance, and I can trust myself to discern whether this person is going to work for me or not based off of those past experiences.
Absolutely.
And I'm also just holding God accountable to showing me that the kind of man that I want and that I hope does exist.
Yeah.
Because right now
Same.
I'm just like, hey, I guess sure if this is just a fairy tale. And the standard is not even that high, to be honest. I'm just looking for a decent, I'm looking for character, I'm looking for honesty, I'm looking for consistency. Just these are not impossible things that we are bringing to the table, things that in my friendships, I see are happening,
Absolutely,
Like, so the
absolutely.
kind of love that has been proven does exist.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'd like to see it in the form of a man, because I'm not sure.
I
I'm
don't
not sure.
know.
But part of that is like just allowing yourself to hope and having faith that, okay, and just like opening your eyes up to the good in and the decent in like the other gender.
Yes.
You know?
Exactly, 100%. It nearly did with me. I went through one of the most harrowing experiences when I just got so sick going through a breakup. But I was actually telling the Uber driver today that I'm one of those people that when my heart gets broken, it's like God fills it up tenfold with love again. So I just have so much love to give once again, and I'm going to do exactly that. So just because of my heart was broken for a minute, though, I was like, I'm done.
Yeah, I
I'm
think it's
done.
just like now your picker has been sharpened a bit more as to who's
Exactly.
on the receiving end of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I just think that even though breakups, heartbreak, disappointment, they're going to come. But don't let that change who you are as a person. Don't become now, I'm going to be bad. I'm going to be hardcore. No, girl, come on, stop. Get it together. Love you so much. Get it together. Come
Yes,
on. Don't
love you loads.
don't have a, in the Bible they say, don't have a hardened heart. Just let the love flow.
And if you have a heart, ask the Lord to soften it.
Thank you, and that He will do.
That's
He
what my
absolutely
Bible
will.
devotional said to me the other day, and I was like, hey, good luck, Lord. This is going to be a work. It's going to be a work in this one.
I can't. This one is actually, I think we have spoken about this a little bit, but how did your perception of yourself change during your 20s? Like, did you feel more insecure in your early 20s compared to now? Yeah.
It's interesting. I think I couldn't say that I felt more insecure in my early 20s versus now. I think there were times and certain things that maybe, I was like super confident in my early 20s, and now that, I struggle with surprisingly, or other things that in my early 20s I just could not see myself getting past versus now I'm like, oh, that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I don't know if it's a today thing or if this is just a certain thing, but I'm just at peace and more okay with the essence of who I am. And I know it's because I've done a lot of self-work and I know myself and I actually like myself. I've always liked myself and
Yes,
the
you have.
idea of myself.
You are Bokang.
I've always been like, you're that girl, I love you,
Yes,
intro, whatever.
yes.
But I think now it's real, even without all the things that I probably tried to do to prove my worth. When I take all those things away and I'm just like face to face with me, I'm like, I actually really rock with you, in the good and the ugly. So it's honestly just been, I've really cultivated a better relationship, a more intimate relationship with myself. Yeah. And I'm just, am I softer on myself? I am, but not too much.
You're working on it.
I'm working on it.
Okay.
Yeah, what about you? I know there's been, let's
Hey,
hear the
me.
tea.
No, I can say for sure, for certain, that I really was not my biggest fan in my early 20s. I didn't like a lot about myself, especially my physique, my smile, my teeth. There was always something. And I remember I had an accident in 2013 which resulted in a fractured nose. And so I ended up with a different looking nose in comparison to the one I was born with. And I haven't done a rhinoplasty yet, but I've come to a place where I've decided I'm not going to, because I actually like my nose now. I like my facial features
I
now.
love that.
I love my lips.
God.
I love my teeth. I used to really struggle with self-confidence and just feeling like I'm worthy, so I'd end up forcing myself into boxes so that people would deem me that way. But I've realized something about how you feel about yourself does show to other people, and when you're forcing it, it also does show. And so I really lean into authenticity now more than ever, because I really do love myself. Like, I actually do. I am my biggest fan. I think I'm one of the best people to hang out with, because I'm hanging out with myself all the time. Like,
I can confirm.
Yes, period.
Affirmative.
Heard it here first. But I enjoy myself so much. And like I was telling you on the drive back, that I feel so much more certain about myself now. I'm still getting my footing in terms of that, but I find that I have so much more grace on myself, more compassion. I will struggle for like an hour and be like, why did you do that? Why did you have to do that? And then I'll be like, you did it. It's done.
Yeah.
Chill, dude.
Or you just be like, well done.
Yes,
You know,
exactly.
the self-talk is real.
Yes, it's very real. So, yeah, the other day I spent 250 Rand when I shouldn't have. Like, I got scammed, I feel like. And
Oh, no.
I got scammed, and I was just so hard on myself. Then I was like, but it's done now, and you didn't actually kill yourself or harm yourself. You still have money in your account. You're okay, I promise. And then I was fine. So, yeah, I'm so proud of the work that I've done on myself, with myself, and I'm going to continue going, because like you said, I like that you said that 30 is not the destination. We continue.
I wish
to
it was, because then I would be like my optimum self and optimum life in a month.
Yes!
It's so much easier, but hey.
Yeah, no, it's a life journey. We go everywhere with ourselves, and we are going to have to continue learning to grow into ourselves. We outgrow certain parts of ourselves, but you have to embrace it. Again, that thing we spoke about earlier about embracing. So, yeah, I've just come to a place where I genuinely just, I'm like, wow, that's you. I respect you, I appreciate you, and I want the best for you. And so I do things that reflect that. So, yeah, and speaking of the money thing, the 250 Rand.
Money, 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 money.
We need to talk about it, because it would be remiss of us to have this conversation and not talk about money and just how we view it now, our money mindsets. Even advice that we have for the girls, because what would you have liked to hear in your early 20s about money, hey? You can answer the question from whichever direction, which one first, whatever, where you want.
My dear. My dear. If there's anything you can just do for yourself when it comes to money, can you please just empower yourself with financial knowledge and understanding? No matter where you're at, no matter if you're not earning anything or you're earning, I don't know, 5-6 figures a month. Like, having that financial literacy is so important and empowering. You can do this through books. You can do this through podcasts. There's so many stuff on YouTube, your TikToks, but actually taking the intentional time to educate yourself, because unfortunately, your 16 to 18-year-old self in high school did not pay much attention in class when they were teaching us about some of these things. And honestly, it was really surface level. Yeah. And now you have real life circumstances to apply. Whether you are paying rent or whether you are not paying rent because you're under your parents' roof, there are so many principles that you can prepare yourself for. A thing that I really love to do right now in every aspect of my life is that I'm always like, how can I help my future self? You know, even if it's like, oh, I don't want to clean right now, but I know I'm leaving and my future self it would be so nice to come back to a clean space. Or I just won't have to do that. Or I really don't feel like cooking. If I don't cook today, my future self is going to have to cook. And by cooking today, I do my future self like for 2-3 days a favor and allowing her to rest. So the same thing when it comes to finances, especially when you speak about things like the power of interest and compounding interest and investments. The thing that you have on the advantage you have on your hands is time. Yes. So the earlier you get started, the earlier you know what to do. You're just setting yourself up for better. So by the time you get to 30, you're not going to be like me, just starting. But it's actually like just so nice to when you actually start to make those investments in yourself just by learning and understanding, it just puts a vote in your self credit jar where you're like, oh, I can trust myself. It's like, oh, wow, I got myself because I'm doing something for my good.
Absolutely.
And it's also a tangible thing where weekly, daily, monthly, you can see, you can see yourself actually implementing these things in your daily life. So just get started and do something. Come up with a plan and commit to it. This money thing is serious. There's not a lot of money. People aren't making a lot of money in South Africa, especially as Black people, especially as Black women. We're just not educated, and there's a lot of stuff circling around. So get in the game. It's real, okay? It's real, and it's available to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I'm doing a course, a money course right now through the Capitec app. I think it's called Live Better. It is inside of the app. You just need to explore it. It has been awakening, but also just listening to podcasts, even having conversations with you has been so helpful. And just understanding that with money, you do not need to put 5,000 rands away every month for you to become wealthy in the future. You just need to know which accounts to put in what and what would best work for you, what would result in the most interest, accumulating the most interest. You need to do your research and explore. And that's why I also want to encourage everyone to really give Easy Equities a try, a look out. You can buy shares from as little as, you can buy equity stocks from as little as 5 rand, right? And over time, you can build your portfolio by just adding money in every month. By the time you are our age, if you start at 21, 22, 23, with that pocket money you're getting or whatever the case may be, by the time you are our age, you could be doing a lot with the money that would have accumulated from there. Like, there are some stocks, some equity, they pay out dividends. And you need to learn these things and understand them in order to understand what dividends are and how the process works. So just also be curious. That's why I said I'm taking curiosity into my 30s, just for the rest of my life. You need to be curious, and I didn't understand the power of understanding money until last year. So don't wait until you're our age to get started. You can start now. If you are at university, you have access to unlimited Wi-Fi. Most university campuses have Wi-Fi. So go onto these websites, research these things, be curious, and just remember that you are 21 today, but you are going to get to 31, you're going to get to 41, you're going to get to 51. I saw an article that said most South Africans can only actually retire at 80. Retirement age is 64, 65, but because people do not have enough money and they don't have enough resources, they have to keep working. But we have opportunities now to set ourselves up for success. And with money, it's, again, not about how much you're making. As Bokang has said, it's about...
Did I say that?
Yes,
joking.
you did.
Girl, check.
No, really. So, yeah, ladies, please just be mindful of how you spend your money. You're not going to be young forever. And think about your future self, as Bokang said. Make that girl proud.
And even if you're not 21, you're 31, you're 35, you start now.
Yes.
Take your life and the vision for your life seriously.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to wrap up, before we wrap up, the pre-wrap up, I want us to briefly get into taking care of ourselves physically, mentally, emotionally. We have been speaking about thinking about your future self financially, but this is also something else that you need to think about for your future self. We are young and energetic today, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be the case forever. And so how do you make sure that you are setting yourself up continuously for success? Because although things will happen, you can get sick and you can get into an accident, whatever the case may be, but there's this thing about knowing to take care of yourself and prioritizing yourself. How would you say it has become better over the years? Like, how have you become better at it, and what have you prioritized the most?
I think when you're young, it's so easy to just take for granted that you will be at your optimum health for the rest of your life. And I'm talking physically, mentally, and emotionally, And unfortunately for a lot of us, there has to be some sort of traumatic event that happens that shifts things into perspective, and that is the instigator for us to, make these lifestyle changes. If you are someone who hasn't experienced anything like that, like what Tseretso said, whether it's an accident, whether it's sickness, hey man, whether it's even a breakup, I don't know, okay? Start now and honestly learn from other people's experiences, how
Yes.
important it is to really take care. And it doesn't even have to be anything that traumatic or that hectic.
Yeah.
But your body, your metabolism, your mental capacity, it's going to change. It's not going to be the same at 31 as it was at 21. Like, you are still young at 31, but I do not bounce back the way that I used to,
You,
and
my
it's
sister.
shocking.
You.
Okay, even when it comes to exercising and stuff like that, the way that our lives are now set up, we're living very sedentary lives to begin with, whereas the way our lives were structured in our youth and the access we had to like different facilities, whether it's sports clubs and just, the design of the lifestyle always had us active and moving. So you didn't have to put that much effort into your fitness or your health. Whereas now it's so important to do that because you even have more additional environmental stresses, whether it's the workplace issues, your job, an intense job, whether it's interpersonal stuff. Stress is such a big killing factor.
Absolutely.
So you need to do what you can to combat that, even if it's in small ways. I'm such a fan of taking daily walks.
Yes.
They're so good for
You
your
are.
mental health and your physical health. Get outside the house if you can, okay? And if you can't, the beautiful thing is that you have the internet. Get moving. You need that dopamine. You need to work on your joints. You need to work on your muscle. The older you get, your muscle mass decreases, and also your ability to gain muscle decreases. So it becomes that much more difficult. Now you're prone to weakness, pains, breaking. Why am I 30 and then I bend and now my knees are cracking? What? What are you saying?
Not really.
Now all of a sudden I am lactose intolerant, or I'm eating something, I'm constipated.
Wow.
I'm sorry, hot girls with stomach problems. Honestly, the stomach problems are real. It's not just a cute saying. These things happen, your body changes.
Does.
And you'll just do yourself so much of a service to, if you can preempt some of those
Yes.
things just by doing daily votes again,
Yes.
but now into like your physical and mental. So yeah, like I said, I'm a fan of walking, I'm a fan of journaling, prayer, devotional, like honestly get into that Bible. Ooh, I don't even know what to say other than that can literally like just save your life and really change the trajectory of everything.
Absolutely.
Just from a divine perspective, I'm not here to, now I'm going into a religious rant, but I'm like, I'm not here to prove to you that God is real. Just, he is.
Just know.
Just know that he is.
Just know how.
Yeah, so I think like those are like easy things. If you can do the gym, definitely do that.
Yes.
There are classes for people who can't really do the stuff on their own, or they're a bit too lazy like me. Otherwise, there's YouTube. There's so many like stuff, Pilates classes.
Yes.
There's strength
My vibe.
training. If you don't have dumbbells or you can't buy equipment, there's household things. Guys, don't make excuses. Where there's a will, there's a way.
There honestly is. There honestly
Yeah.
is. And I think also if you're a university student, you're like, oh my goodness, I don't really have time. Yes, you do. The campus, walk around on it. Yes, you do. Stop making excuses. Walk around on the campus. I always tell my sister that it's very, very important to understand the negative impact of sugar. And I know how the university culture can get to you, where you're just like, there's cool drink here, there's this there, there's a vending machine there, there's a kiosk there. Don't get sucked into that. Please take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Sugar is not a good thing for you, where you're drinking a Coke every day or a Fanta every day or Sprite every day. Please don't do that. Please just be mindful of the impact that these things have on your body. I also want to say, had my fun in my early 20s. You know, I've told you many times that I used to have a time like really throwing it down. But let me tell you something. You can't do that forever. You cannot do that forever. Hubbly is a big thing. It's an in thing. Drinking alcohol, consuming copious amounts of alcohol is an in thing. Where people are saying we clubbed from Sunday to Sunday. What do you mean?
Could never be me. Not even at my prime. Not even at my peak.
No, guys. Come
What?
on. No, wait, really. No, you need to take care of yourselves. Even with the vaping thing.
No, I'm sorry. You hate yourself if you do that.
No,
That's
really.
literally my view.
No. You really are not taking care of yourself, and you are not very mindful. And we're saying this from a place of care and concern, not a judgy place.
But I'm also judging. I'm joking.
Sunday.
Sunday to Sunday. Oh, wow.
No, really. And even the vaping thing, it's just become such a cultural phenomenon where you have your 21-year-olds standing outside of their lecture halls, vaping. Oh, I'm on a vape break. No, guys. We need to do better. Need to take care of yourself. Eat a more balanced diet. It's fine to have your fun, but it cannot be an everyday thing, even an every weekend thing. And the thing is, it's also impacting your finances. I mean, think about that. Is the you tomorrow going to be happy with the choices that you are making now? No. And so, yeah, don't wait to get to a point where you get
Now you have
alcohol
problems
poisoning.
with your liver. Hi, Bo.
No, please. I'm asking you very nicely. And if you are a lady listening to this and you know you have a guy friend or even your boyfriend that needs to hear this, please share this part of the episode with him and tell him that, listen, please, you need to take care of your body, honestly speaking. Also, it's not healthy to not drink water. That's not right. You need to drink water. I don't agree with that.
Not with the constant energy drinks.
Honestly, that's not healthy. You need water, and you need to get yourself in a place where you have a routine, where you are exercising, as Bokang was saying, moving your body. That's the important thing. Don't overload your system, and don't pour from an empty cup. That's a big thing for me right now, where I'm saying, do not go all the time. When a friend says, let's go out, you're going out. When your boyfriend's like, okay, I want you to come over, you're going over. Give yourself time for yourself. It's very, very important. These things impact the mental health. They impact your spiritual well-being. They impact your physical well-being and your emotional well-being. And like Bokang said, get into the word, read the Bible. It's going to save you. Wow. It's been a saving grace in both of our lives, honestly. So, yeah, girls, what are we saying in closing? Have we got closing thoughts?
Just dump him.
I'm joking. Why are you being messy?
This is my closing thought, guys.
Is this your vision of self-improvement? Oh my gosh.
This is what I mean. This is the subtext underneath just dump him. It's have fun in life, guys. Also, don't take it too seriously. Like, that was a joke. We have been giving you all the gems, and sometimes you can get caught up in like getting everything right, ticking the list, self-improvement, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Hey, but can you just laugh? Can you just enjoy? Can you just be free as well?
Yeah.
So I think that's also really important to, like, whether you're in your whatever stage, like, but we are speaking about just your 20s. One thing I really just wish I allowed myself to enjoy a lot more than I did. I know when you were enjoying.
I was having a time.
But yeah, take it easy, enjoy, laugh a lot more, and yeah, not everything needs to be taken so seriously.
Really?
But it is serious.
No, it is 100% serious. It is that deep, but also don't box yourself in and be like, I'm never leaving this box. I'm going to stay in here forever. When someone says this, oh my gosh, that is so, oh my gosh, I'm going to block my ears. Oh my God. No, give yourself a chance to laugh and have a good time. Please also wear SPF. Very important. I know this is also something that maybe you hear frequently, but actually use SPF. That's really, really important. And drink your water and be good to yourself. That's really the really important thing as well. And really take life as it comes. I'm going to echo what Bokang said. Do not take it too seriously. Don't deep it too much, okay? You're going to go crazy if you do.
Literally, the overthinkers of the world are saying, it's not that deep, just chill.
Wow, we're so funny. Wow, we are so funny. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. This is definitely where we are ending this week's episode. This was a fun one, B.
Period. I'm glad.
Thank you.
I'm glad.
Next time you come on to the podcast, we're going to do a reflection of first year of 30. I want to hear. I'm not stopping. I'm going. I am milking it. Milking it.
You guys have something to look forward to.
No, they really, really do. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you if you have reached this part of the episode. I appreciate you so much. Please don't forget that A Cupful is on all listening platforms. Just look for it on wherever you find your podcasts. And if you know of anyone that would be happy to listen to this episode or would find it of value, or you know they need it, don't be shy to share it with them. Share the link, share it in your Instagram DM, share it on WhatsApp, share it on email. And also, if you want to connect with me, you can via email or
Her
TikTok
number
DM.
is...
Oh, no. I would love to do that. I've thought about doing that. I've actually thought about starting a WhatsApp group. Everybody should let me know
guys,
if you want me to start a WhatsApp group.
you are going to overwhelm my friends. Please,
No.
every morning, ding, ding. What should we do? Tato, what do you think about... Ooh.
No, I feel like it would just be a community-based WhatsApp group where we share recommendations for books, for podcasts, for places to
that's
go
kinda
to.
cute.
Yeah, a recommendations group. So if you want a place to get recommendations, let's just call it that. You'll let me know and I will actually share my phone number because I don't mind doing that.
Well, we will have an alternative phone number.
Yes, of course. Yes, of
For
course.
that.
100%. But I'm being so serious, and all of the information about everything else is in the show notes. My girl B, where can the ladies find you?
Y'all not gonna find me.
Who
You trying to send to my house? But for those of you that are not psychos, wow, it's gotten to the part of the podcast where I'm in a mood. Where I'm just trying to be like random. But you guys can find me on Instagram at sheisbokang. Guys, you can also follow at the bword_ZA. Listen, we're gonna come back when God says we're coming back.
No,
And
really,
when we
yeah,
come
that's so
back,
serious.
we'll be back
Yes.
with the bang.
Yes.
Yeah, and just keep watch there. Keep posted because 2025, we're coming alive.
There we. Oh, yes.
And we're gonna thrive.
Oh, yes. I love that. I love that. Also, just to go back on the phone number thing, I won't share my phone number. Wait. Love y'all.
Clarify.
Just to clarify, I love y'all loads, but I think I'm going to create a community group and then add a link, and then that will be that. To if you want me to start the community group, then I will add a link in the show notes in the next episode. That's what I'll do. That makes more sense. Because I was like, phone number, how would that work? That would be like, whoa, no, it wouldn't work. So yes, that is the final verdict on that one. Have a lovely remainder of this week. Rest when you need to, work when you need to. Be kind to yourself and others. That is very important. Please remember that your 20s are not a race. It is not a sprint. It is a marathon, and it is going to go beyond your 20s. So just embrace it and enjoy it. And most importantly, keep doing the things that fill your cup.